Yeah, like I say, I work hard on my movies, and so, I charge $20 because I work so hard, and Hollywood isn't paying me anything, and I'm not getting any grants. The government isn't helping me. I just use my own money to make these movies, so that's why I feel I deserve the $20 because, like I say, Hollywood isn't paying me anything. I don't have any producers throwing money at me. I only make a profit after I do the movie. I work hard. I work my butt off making these movies, and then once I'm done, I sell copies of them. On video I sold on video up to 2007, and finally had a DVD on sale down here at Walmart down the street over there past Gulf Mill, and they had it on sale for $55. So I bought one, and it had a problem, so I took it back, and they just replaced it right away. They just go ahead and grab another one. But then they were on sale the next day for $45. So I took mine back like a couple days later, and I said, yeah, I'm going to turn it. Something's wrong with it, and there was one thing wrong with it anyway. One of the dubbing things. So she says, oh, grab another one. So I returned it, got my money back, and then I bought it for $45. So I bought it, and that one didn't have any problems. That one I got for $45 did not have any problems. So I'm using a $45 DVD recorder, and I've had it since 2007, and it still works good. And that's what I make all these copies with, So anyway, and I got 5 movies for you in this bag, but, I'm going to get them out now. But where are they? There they are. There's like 5 DVDs in this bag. This thing. Yeah. And I got posters in there I'm going to sign. Janet's going to sign them for you, but I'll open it up later. Don't open it now.
Oh, okay.
And look. Oh, and look at this. Hey, Josh, look. I was in the paper the other day. Again, on page 4 of the journal. So this is to my critics that say, oh, how come you never made it to the big time? You should move to Hollywood. I'm like, hey, it's like my pal Rocky McCord said, Gerald McCord, who's, I found out, I told him about movie extra work because I wanted to help him out. He's a fellow Chicago Golden Gloves boxer, and I wanted to help him out. So I said, my mom said, David, don't tell him about it. He might get your part. I said, no, Mom. I said, Mom, he's not going to get my part. They need extras. They need a lot of extras. They need hundreds of extras. And I said, he's not going to get my part because, this is extra work, And besides, he's my friend. I want to help out my friends. Good things are happening to me. I'm in these movies. I want good things to happen to my friends too. I want them to good things to happen to them too. Because you want to share it. Otherwise, just hoarding to yourself. I see a lot of extras. They just brag about all these movies they were in, but they don't help out anybody else because they don't want anybody else to get their extra. That's greedy, man. I'm still going to get my part, and if somebody else gets another part, I'll get a different extra part because they need tons of extras, and you don't have to be an actor. Somebody's like, well, I don't know. You tell people you got to send in a snapshot, send it to the casting agency. And like Rocky was calling me up. He's been calling me up lately a lot, Rocky. We had long talks, like half hour or more. Oh, like an hour. Sometimes an hour and a half. My sister was saying, Dave, if other people need to use the phone. So I finally had to give up the phone. So, and so I said, and I was getting ready for my colonoscopy the next day. So I told Rocky, and he went to the VA same day as me, VA Hines. Because we're both veterans. We're both in the service. He was in the Army or Navy. I was in the Marines. Navy and Marines work together. They're like one of the same. The Marines are on Navy bases, Navy is on Marine bases, whatever. And we are on naval ships. So we work together with the Seabees. The squids or the Seabees work with the jarheads or the Marines. They call us jarheads for some reason. Anyway, hoorah! They didn't call me Corporal Hoorah for nothing because I was then and I still am a highly motivated, hard-charging U.S. Marine. Hoorah! When you see a pretty girl, we go, hoorah! Yeah, that means you like her. Hoorah! All right, yeah, like the girl said in Jewel, she said, that's a compliment, because when you say oorah to the girl, they yelled oorah to a girl who's walking down the street from the bus, they're going, oorah, by Camp Geiger near Camp Lejeune, as I was at Camp Geiger, which is a Fighting Fox Company, Battalion 2-8, 2nd Battalion, 8th MARDIV, that's 8th Marine Division. So it's 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines, okay. I'm amazed at all these guys. I tell people I was in Subic Bay, Philippines. I was at Fighting Fox Company, Battalion 2-8, And this guy in my church says, what unit were you in? This cop once asked me, what unit were you in? I'm like, I just told them I was in Subic Bay, Philippines, QB Point, from 77 to 78. I was in Platoon 2077 in boot camp. How much more information do you need? Now, then they ask me what unit I'm in. I'm like, that's very general. Unit... I just tell them like 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines. That's a unit. They like to use the word unit. When I was in the Marines, it's what battalion are you in? What company are you in? What Marine division are you in? 8th MARDIV. 2nd Battalion. You know, that's what we said. We didn't just say unit. That's general. I don't even think we use the word unit. We just use battalion, company B, Marine Barracks, Marine Barracks, Subic Bay, Philippines. You know, I go down the street, make side drive. They go, "Hey, Marine, you want a good time? You want a short time?" I go, you know, but you know, "Hey, Marine, I show you good time." You know, and so you know, and I had monkey meat over there on skewers. They say it was monkey meat. It tastes like pork. Maybe it was wild boar on a stick for 1 peso. It's like 7 pesos. That's like $1 American. You get these 7 little bite-sized pieces, and it's good. And for 2.5 pesos, wait a minute, 2.5 pesos, you get a big piece of chicken. That's like 45 cents. That's about 40 cents. Excuse me, 1 peso. For 1 peso, you get on the skewer. That's like 15 cents. You get 7 bite-sized pieces of pork or monkey meat grill, and you know it tastes like pork. It's good. Anyway, they eat lizard, monitor lizard. They barbecue it. They're barbecuing a monitor lizard, and they say it tastes like chicken. They barbecue the fruit bats because they eat berries and stuff. They don't eat junk like around here. They're cooking bats. And they had hundreds of bats in a tree. And my friend Burkett, Lance Corporal Burkett, he goes, "Ooh," you know, he makes a loud noise. Ah, and then like a tree with little sacks hanging. And then hundreds of bats, they started opening up and flying all over the place, like 200 or more bats. They look like sacks, but when Burkett went, "Oh," they're all flying like crazy. This is in the daytime. They're flying, swooping down my head. I'm ducking. You know, I'm ducking them, you know, trying to avoid these bats. And I tell you, I thought they were actual devil bats because at night they were like 6 foot from wingtip to wing. I look up and I see this giant bat. And then there was another one. I thought it was the legendary devil bat from the movie Devil Bat with Bela Lugosi, which I never saw, but I saw a picture in Famous Monsters magazine.
You haven't seen
There's
that
an article. No, I've seen it
by
since.
now, yeah,
Back
okay.
then I hadn't
At the
seen
time,
it.
okay.
At that time I had never seen it, but I was just 20 years
That's a
old
good
then, and I didn't
one,
those movies on TV late night.
sure,
They showed
yeah.
like Frankenstein ones late night once in a while.
Now
My
there's
dad would
been
wake me up.
such a
But
resurgence
then they had
in
creature
popularity.
features later, but I never saw Devilland on Creature Features WGN during the 60s, 70s. That they didn't show that one, but they did show Frankenstein's Daughter at 3 a.m. and I fell asleep during that one because it was on so late. From 1:30 to 3, I zonked out. I sort of cried. "Oh, I missed the end of Frankenstein's Daughter."
Yeah.
I only saw a little bit, and I zonked out halfway through. But I've seen it since on video, hosted by Elvira. And no, not hosted by Elvira. I taped it off Channel 50 on UPN back in the late 80s, early 90s. And I watch it all the time. I just watched it last month again. I watched that movie probably more than any other movie. I love Frankenstein's Daughter. I like Dr. Frank. And it's a campy movie, and the monster's campy, and I like how the monster like karate chops. And no, I'm your friend. Like karate chops people. They fall back like they're hurt. You know, that's a good movie. And I imitate sort of. In my movies, I'm Dr. Frank, and I'm supposed to be a descendant of Dr. Frank, who made Frankenstein's Daughter.
Oh, okay.
I'm like his son, Dr. Frank. Yeah, I'm the mad son of Dr. Frank, who made Frankenstein's Daughter in 1958. Yeah, and that's who I am in Fishman.
Oh, okay.
I am the son of
yeah.
Dr. Frank. I say that in the movie. Yeah, he was my father. My great-great-great-great-grandfather is the one who created the first monster back in the 1500s, and he was my great-great-great-grandfather. Or back in the 1700s. Oh yeah, it's getting cold. And so I'm too busy talking. And so anyway, I'm talking about that in Fishman. So I'm a descendant of Frankenstein, and I said, and the son, the son of the son of the son of the son of Dr. Frankenstein, me, had a dream to make a fishman. Me, yeah, because I'm the son of the son of the son of Dr. Frankenstein. And I'm the son of Dr. Frank, who made Frankenstein's Daughter in 1958. And I believe that really happened because that was a movie. That was made into a movie, so it must have really happened. Just like in Giant Horny Toad Monster, I go, yeah, they made a movie about Giant Horny Toad Monster, so I believe that really happened. There's a real Giant Horny Toad Monster out there. So I don't believe in Giant Horny Toad Monsters, though, but I believe in toy ones because I got one. You know, it squeaks. I believe in them because I got a toy one. And I believe in Devil Ants because they made a movie about it by my twin brother, by David Rock Nelson. So I believe in Devil Ants. But Fishman, no way, man. There's no such thing as Fishman. It's a figment of your imagination. But I do believe in Frankenstein because they made a movie about it, and Frankenstein's Daughter proves it. Because that's Dr. Frank. He really existed. That's my dad. You know. he starred in the movie Frankenstein's Daughter in 1958. But anyway, but like I was saying, I've gone on rabbit trails. But, you know, like I say, I was in the paper the other day. Look at this, man. Let's see. It says right there, 'tis the season for the Rock. I'm going to show that to the people right there. There's the article. See, 'tis the season for the Rock. It talks about me being a WGN on Halloween. Yeah. But anyway, I'll show that to you later, see. But anyway, that's rubbing in my critics' nose that make fun of me, that say, you know, how come you didn't make it to the big time? Or how come you didn't move to Hollywood? Or you're a pig, David. You don't have any friends. I got fiends right here. I got fiends. That's my #1 fan in Pilsen. They're Pilsen or South Side.
McKinley Park.
McKinley Park.
Haunted Archer Avenue.
Oh, Haunted Archer Avenue. Yeah.
Haunted.
Yeah, it's really haunted, just like haunted Pontiac, Michigan, where Dr. Suave hangs out. Dave Piper, and Nurse Wolffiend and Wolfman Mac and all those fiends. Anyway, and Haunted Holly too, the antique store out there. But, you know. And I want to say something too. And like I said, Hollywood isn't paying me lots of money, you know. So I just do my thing. You don't need to go to Hollywood to make it. Movies really started in Chicago over at SNA Studios in the early 1900s. They made westerns at Broadway and Argyle. And people say, you know, how come you didn't make it to Hollywood? You know, you can make movies in your backyard, your basement. That's what I did. I used a video camera, my late brother Keith's video camera, Keith Noodles Nelson, also known as on stage comic, stand-up comic, and actor. He was in one episode of Jack and Mike, the first episode. He's in a bar scene. He's laughing at like the first 10 seconds of the show. The very first episode he's seen. And then he was in a commercial. I got on video. And he did extra work in The Untouchables with Kevin Costner, Sean Connery, but he wasn't seen. They cut a scene out or whatever. Not because he wasn't any good. It's just they had too many scenes. They can't use everything. The movie's going to be 10, 20 hours long. They shoot hundreds. They shoot like 100 hours of stuff. They can't. People say, "Oh, why didn't they use your scene, Rock? Weren't you any good?" I mean, no, they just got too much footage. They can't. I got cut out of the Jackal with Sidney Poitier and Richard Gere. I walked right past them. I brushed shoulders with Sidney Poitier, and Richard Gere was right across from me. And I walked real slow so they get me. And I got a stogie in my hand. And they reshot the scene the next day, and I wasn't there. They reshot it. But I was in that first date because they wanted Sidney Poitier to have a jacket. I wasn't in the scenes that day. I was in the first. They reshot the same scene.
Continuity or whatever.
Well, they wanted him to wear a suit jacket because he was wearing a dress shirt when I was in the scene.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't seen. But that's showbiz. Like Herbert the Fiend Busowitz, who's in my movies. You know, the Fiend, the ugly guy.
Yeah,
he's in Vampire Woman. Yeah, that's his first greatest role ever. But yeah, he plays he's a fiend in that. And but I mean, like he said, that's showbiz because he's been cut out of movies too. You know, but he was seen too. He's in 30 movies as an extra. I think he died a couple years ago. He like disappeared. I don't know where he is. He doesn't. His letters came back to sender. I don't know. Maybe he's in some rest home in Chicago over there. He lived over there near Howard and Bosworth. That Bosworth and Howard on the corner, the apartment there. Kind of a bad area. Some guy tried to steal my camera one time when I was filming the building. Some guy was, give me that camera, give me that camera. He thought I was filming his friends because I think his friends were gang members. They were in front of the, but they were inside because I said, hey, I want to film this building. Could I just get the building without anybody standing here? They go, sure, come on, you guys. Him and his buddies went inside while I filmed the building because I didn't want anybody in the scene. I wanted to look like just the exterior. I didn't want anybody sitting out there. I didn't think they'd want to be filmed. Plus, I wanted to make I just wanted to get the outside because Herbert's scenes were shot in there. I wanted to show where Herbert lived. And this one guy across the street, one of their buddies, thought I was spying on him, and I wasn't. I was just filming the building because my buddy lived there. And he comes from behind and tries to grab it. And he goes, give me the camera. And he almost pulled it out of my hand. So I held it like a football. I crouched down to my knees. I held it like a football. I held on for dear life. And he kind of messed up the viewfinder a little, bent it a little, but not bad. I took it to his buddies came out. They said, hey, leave him alone. He didn't do nothing. So... But I went to Best Buy the next day, and they straightened it out for free. They just put it back in place. They fixed the viewfinder for me. They just popped it back in place, and it was fine. I still got that camera. I save all my broken down cameras that don't work anymore. It wore out eventually. There's Janet Kells on her Java. But like I say, I think my movies are worth $20 because I work hard at these, and I use my own money. And I'm going to tell those other filmmakers making excuses, classic rock dollar movie. Yeah, in your dreams. You got to start out small. You got to start out the bottom like me. Don't think your first movie is going to be a blockbuster shown at all the theaters. That is a pipe dream that is unrealistic. I'm glad you're motivated, but You should do it because you love doing it, not because you want to be famous. You're just doing it to get famous. Forget it. I know one guy's going to quit filmmaking because he was thinking of quitting filmmaking because if his movies don't make a profit, there's really no sense in going on. I sent him a message. I said, hey, you know, guys like you and me, we got to make movies. I know I have to. I do it because I have to do it. It's not about that. I didn't start doing it for the money. I did it because I felt I had to make these movies. And then I thought, well, I'll make money off it. I'll offer them for sale. Because I saw an article in Film Threat magazine that talked about being a self-distributor.
Oh, yeah.
And the issue said, had that Once Tyranny Tor look like on the cover, and it says, shut up and make movies. And I said, yeah, I need to shut up and make movies. I mean, just start doing it. And so I decided I would start making movies, and it was maybe a month later that I started filming Frankenstein vs. Saddam Hussein. My first movie at 1919 South Prairie. It's in a historical district. They fixed up the house, but when I filmed it, it was abandoned. The windows were broken, and they had a tree there, and they had like an old gate. And they took all that away, and they fixed it up. It doesn't look so spooky anymore. They fixed up the windows. Now somebody's living there. But that's really a real haunted house, I found out. I found that out a couple years ago. I went there to visit. Back in 2006 when they did the Can't Stop the Rock documentary, the Kaler and Franklin Wells.
You mean
that
Can't
one?
Stop the Rock
yeah,
documentary?
yeah. And when they were doing that, shooting that in the Sheridan or Ramada or the Sheridan over there, kind of near like 20th Street and Wabash or those whatever near there.
Yeah.
They were out there kind of anyway. Kind of near Cermak, and Lakeshore Drive around it.
Yeah.
And that's where they shot the documentary. And I looked out the window and I could see the house from the hotel. I could see that. I said, that's the house. I could see it like a couple blocks away. And so I walked down Prairie, and one guy said, yeah, that house really is haunted. They had WJN over there filming. I said, hey, I filmed my first movie there because I thought it looked creepy. I said, I got to film there. I also filmed the old Fort Dearborn before they totally tore it down on Wabash and 14th Street when it was torn down. It was still standing. The old door. Seems to me as the werewolf throwing a rock, and these people wanted to be in my movie, so I let them be in my movie. This girl and her mom, and this one Afro-American guy walking. His name Raymond. He wanted to say, yeah, I'll be in your movie. So he pretended like he was the girl's boyfriend, and they were breaking up, and she said, F you, man. I can find anybody by myself. And she's giving him the finger, so you know I'm gonna have to blur it out in my movie. But he's saying, "I'm gonna take this S anymore, man." So they take off, and he leaves her, and then all of a sudden the werewolf comes behind her, me, and I grab her, and she goes, Ray, help, come back, Ray. And so then you see her hand behind the door. This is when the old Fort Dearborn was there. I got that footage. I'm gonna use it in like Werewolf of Chicago. That's Julie Tinker and her mom. I think Julie Tinker. I think she was a producer for some reggae band over there on Clark Street near Wrigley Field. They play reggae.
Yeah,
she's like in charge of a band there, and I never went there to hear them, but she told me that. She said, I'm a producer too, but she's a producer for like music groups. It's not the same. I'm a producer director of my own monster movies. But like I say, I think they're worth $20. Like Michael Flores says of Psychotronic Film Society, they're worth every penny. Like, only $15.95 they used to be. Now they're $20, but they're worth every penny. But it's good entertainment. Yeah, and Hollywood isn't paying me for these to make these movies, so I have to pay myself. And I think I'm worth that $20 because that's my only source of income right now. And so, you know, I think I deserve. I do my best to entertain people. Now I'm reaping for all my hard work I've been doing for the last 21 years. I've been doing this 21 years. Against my mom's wishes, my mom said, David, I wish you'd do something more constructive with your time. Yeah. My mom said to me, Josh, she said, David, I wish you'd do something more constructive with your time. I said, well, Mom, you know, I want to do this. She's, you know, you won't have any girlfriends, you know. I said, Mom, there's girls that will like me for who I am. I said, all you talk about is boxing and the Bible. Is that all you talk about is boxing and the Bible and monster movies? I'm like, well, Mom, those things matter to me. She says, yeah, well, you got to get other interests. The girls ain't going to like you. They're not going to date you, you know. You know, people aren't going to like you. I said, Mom, I'm not worried about that. I got to be myself. I said, Mom, I'm going to make these movies anyway. I don't care what people say. I'm going to make them anyway because that's what I want to do. I said, Mom, you can't stop me from making movies because you know you can't stop me from making movies. And I like doing it. And I'd argue with my mom. I'd bang on the table. I'd slam the door. I've wrecked the hinges on my door. My sister gave me a hard time about it. And you're a snake, David. You're a nocturnal animal. And she'd slam the door because I'd be up late at night editing my movies. I'd fall asleep watching monster movies. She'd come down. She'd see me in my chair sleeping with a TV and I watch it with a video monster movie on or something late. Or The Invaders at 5 a.m. He'd come down at about 2:30 in the morning when I'd fall asleep watching a monster movie. I'd wake up and start watching it again, you know.
Yeah.
But she'd take, "You're a snake, David. You're a nocturnal animal." She'd slam the door. So I do a scene in my movie where I play Roxella. And I did that about a year ago, and I said, like 2 years ago, I did a scene of me as Roxella, and I slammed the door. So only I play Roxella, and I'm wearing a monster shirt, and I got fake boobs. I stick crumpled up plastic bags from Jewel. Hey, I stick. Joshua, listen to this. I stick crumpled up bags from Jewel in my chest to make it look like I got chest there, and I slam the door. I go, "You're a snake, David. You're a nocturnal animal." Bam, you know. And so, I'm doing this. I like to make comedy in my movies, And like I said, but, I told my mom. I said, "Mom, you can't stop me from making movies. I'm going to do it anyway, no matter what anybody says." I had to look myself in the mirror. People criticized my movie, saying I'd never make a dime. One guy said, "The Rock, these movies are good to show to your friends. They're good to show to friends and stuff. But I would never buy it. I would never sell it." This is a rough edit of my first Frankenstein Sound and Sand. Before I added the titles, before I did the whole thing before I edited it all over, I added the whole thing all over again from the raw footage all over again. Added titles and I made it better. And and guess what? He's criticized my movie, but all the while we were showing it at his house,
He's laughing.
He wanted to charge me $2 for the pizza they were serving. He says, "Can you give us $2 for pizza?" He wasn't charging the other guys, but he wanted to charge me $2. Probably because I was new, but he wasn't charging Mike Torment his buddy, and he wasn't charging Dan his buddy, the $2. I'm like, "Why is he charging me?" And then Danny stood up. From Mike Medicare, Mike Torment and Medicare. He was there. He didn't get charged, but the guy that was showing movies at his house wanted to charge me. So Dan says, he goes, "Oh, don't charge The Rock. He's providing the entertainment. It's his movies. Don't charge him." It's like, "Oh, okay." See. I'm a guest there, and he wants to charge me $2, but he's not charging them. That doesn't seem fair to me.
No,
well, and the guy stopped inviting me to his house because he told Mike Torment, he says, he says, "Why don't you write The Rock anymore?" He goes, "Well, The Rock stopped buying my shirts. He doesn't buy my shirts anymore." That's why I didn't invite him to his house now. Those guys don't have to buy shirts. He made these monster shirts. And but anyway, you know what he told me? While he's saying, "Rock, these movies are good to show to your friends or family, but I would never buy them. I would never sell them." All the while, he's got the dubbing wires going up through the basement of his house, going up to his VCR upstairs. I was wondering why, he went upstairs, he comes back down. I figured it out later because somebody Scary Monsters got a copy of my movies. And he's a friend of this guy. So I'm like, the only way he could have got it is from him. So he must have been making a copy while he was showing it. So I figured it out. When he was going upstairs, he was probably turning on the VCR, pressing record, and running down real quick to press play so he could get the whole movie while it's recording upstairs on his dual VCR with the wires going up through the basement. Wow. So, yeah. Because, the two TVs are connected, the VCR, so you can take different shows and stuff. So anyway, that's the only way Scary Monsters could have got a copy of my movie. But guess what? I didn't care about that. I didn't care about that.
David, the food's gets
I know, it's already cold. It's already cold. I didn't care about that. I'm just too busy. When I'm wound up, I can't stop talking. I have food get cold to me all the time. And I love eating it when it's warm, but it's just, I'm still going to enjoy it, believe me. But I just have to make this point. But I forgot what I was saying. I was talking about, the wires go up through the door. Okay.
Scary Monsters, man.
So anyway, I don't care they got a copy, but why is he putting down me and saying, "Rock, these are good to show your family and friends, but I would never buy it, I would never sell it," when he finds it good enough to make a copy of? That's hypocritical. Because if it wasn't any good, he wouldn't be making a copy of it. So then he sent it. Wait, listen to me. Let me make my. So I'm not done yet. So you can talk after I'm done.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. But I'm on a roll. The Rock's on a roll. I gotta finish what I'm saying.
You gotta go back.
A burning desire in my heart to say this message. So if he's putting down my movies, why does he find them good enough to make a copy of? Obviously, he must like my movies. He sent a copy to Scary Monsters, and I'm for that. I just didn't agree with him putting me down, saying, "Oh, Rock, these, I would never buy them. I would never sell them." See, that was very discouraging for him to tell me that. And I'm the one that worked my butt off making this movie for him, and nobody has made Frankenstein vs. Son of a Saint but me. I feel it was a great movie. I thought it deserved a 10 in my opinion because no one had ever done that before. She told me about Hot Shots Part 2 later, where they sort of had a fake Saddam Hussein. But mine's different. I did not see that movie. I did this before I saw that movie. I saw that after I made it. But mine is different. Mine's funnier. Mine is better. My movie's better than it. But anyway, but guess what? The copy sent Scary Monsters. Guess what? They liked it. and they did an article on me, big article. And it's Scary Monsters yearbook they had an article on me. They had the article on Conrad Brooks versus the Werewolf, because I did that the following year. In 93, I did that. The same year, 93, that I came out with Volume 1 with Frank vs. Saddam Hussein, Werewolf vs. Saddam Hussein, Pumpkin Man and all that. The same year I did, later that summer, I went to Baltimore to the Fan X7 convention. I filmed Conrad Brooks versus Werewolf, because Conrad Brooks saw me at Famous Monsters 35th World Con in 93, and he says, Rocky,
so they really
he says,
in Baltimore.
yeah, right, and he says, Rocky, this was down in Virginia, Arlington, Virginia, at the Sheraton, Crystal City, Sheraton down there, when they had the Famous Monsters 35th World Con with Forey Ackerman and all those guys, John Agar, and everybody was there. And Ted V. Michaels, the Corpse Grinders, the Astro Zombies, But anyway, he says, Conrad sees me there, and he goes, hey, Rocky, sees me in the lobby. He goes, hey, Rocky, you make your own pictures, right? I go, yeah. He says, because I'd like to be in your pictures. So he says, come to Fanex, Rocky. I go, where is it? You'll read about it, you'll hear about it. Just come to Fanex. That's out in Baltimore. I'm like, well, where is it? Who do I contact? What? Oh, you'll hear about it. You'll hear about it. Well, I didn't hear about it. I didn't know where to find it. I've never heard of this before.
Yeah.
So I call up Kooky Kent from Scary Monsters and guys, and guess what? Kooky Kent calls me up. He goes, and he gave me the phone number of Conrad. He had like 3 phone numbers. He had his brothers. He had his daughter, Mark Bialek. I called down there, and Connie, his daughter, answers the phone. And that's Connie Brooks. Her husband was driving. She got divorced, though. Now it says Connie. Now it's back to Connie Brooks again. It's Connie for short, because they used to call Conrad Connie. That's what Ed Wood used. They used to call him Connie for short for Conrad. And his brothers met Ed Wood down in the late 50s, down in early 50s. It was like around 1951, 52. They met Ed Wood, and then because 1952. Yeah, don't sit on my backpack, Janet. Oh yeah. Oh good. Okay. Because anyway, then they were in Glen or Glenda and stuff. The first movie they were in was something called Sands of Laredo or something. It was like a short film. Ed Wood. This is a Western film. They paid Eddie $60 to do it. Eddie said, just pay me $60 and I'll do a movie with you guys. And so Conrad and his brothers paid Ed Wood $60 to be in Eddie's movie that he filmed with his little movie camera. They got pictures of him running around the movie camera. It's called the Sands of Laredo or something. They're riding a horse. Ted Brooks is riding horseback. Then, Ted is Conrad's brother in Conrad Brooks vs. Werewolf. He's the one that gets attacked by the tombstone, and I'm grabbing him, the heavy guy, I'm grabbing him. It looks like I'm hugging him. Looks like he's my buddy. I'm hugging him as I'm biting him. Anyway, this is when I threw the baseball bat. He had the baseball bat. He kept flubbing his lines. The bloopers are at the end. That's funny. I'm going to get him with this, the bat. Because I'm looking for the Batman. But he's still saying I'm looking for the werewolf. I go, Batman, no, you're looking for the werewolf. So anyway, that was a cool cemetery out in Dundalk, Maryland, which is near Fells Point. It's about maybe 20 minutes from Fells Point, Baltimore.
One of my favorite,
oh wait, what your favorite what?
Could I just
go ahead.
Interject real quick about Conrad Brooks versus Werewolf?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat now.
One of my favorite parts about that movie is when they're going through the graveyard, and Conrad Brooks is like, oh, Johnson, I had a good friend by the name of Tor Johnson. And then they show the headstone that says Conrad. Yeah. And the werewolf is like clawing the headstone. And then there's like a hole in the ground, and he's like, this reminds me of that picture, that Ed Wood picture, remember? And he's like
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Referencing so hard, the Ed Wood reference, it's so awesome. It's
Conrad came up with that part funny. When he saw the Tombstone Johnson. Conrad wanted to make reference to George Johnson. He says, I'm going to mention George Johnson here. Yeah. And he says, now Rocky, I want you to walk through these graves right here, because I know some people that were buried there. I think somebody's buried there. Guess what? I found out a year later, Ed and Carl Hopp from Timonium, Maryland, friends of mine, they were friends at Conrad. Conrad introduced me to them at the next year, at Fanex 94, the next year, which was Fanex 8, when I had Conrad Brooks vs. Werewolf finished. And I was selling copies there. I was handing out flyers of it there, and I was selling copies there. And I met them, and so I filmed scenes of them, and I used them in Werewolf and the Witch. But before I finished Werewolf and the Witch, I did Devilant, and so I used the stock footage of them walking in Devilant. I used it. Then I said, well, I'll use it in Frankenstein Stalks. I used it, and those guys kept. And Carl keeps telling me his brother, the taller one. Not the one with the dark hair, the taller, slimmer one. They're both tall, slim, but the slimmer one with the lighter hair, that's Carl. He kept saying, we'll do scenes for you. And well, but they never shot him. They never got around doing it. Their friend Ellsworth or one of their buddy Ellsworth Hall, a nice guy, they were going to do scenes, but Carl never got around doing those scenes. So I just keep using the stock footage. That's okay. I'll just keep using the stock footage because it's funny. You appear in the same scene every movie, but I have extra footage. Sometimes it changes because I got extra footage that I use like in Werewolf and the Witch that I did not use in Devilland. Yeah. I was saving that for the Werewolf movie. And then, like, if you see Giant Horny Toad Monster, I use some of the footage where you'll see them in Giant Horny Toad. I used it in a different way. I showed different. I dub over it different, so they say something different. Oh, okay. So they're talking about the Horny Toad Monster instead of the werewolf. I dub over it. Like when Ed's running, goes Carl. Then all of a sudden his mouth isn't moving, and then you hear him say something. That's me saying, I just saw a werewolf print. I just saw a flying saucer. See, that's me. So first you hear him. He goes, Carl. And then after that, his mouth doesn't move the whole time. You hear him say, when he's running off camera, I go, I just saw a werewolf print, right? I just saw Frankenstein's monster, you know. Yeah. And so, that's me adding, like, voiceover, adding. Sure. So I do that.
Thank you for the meal today.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Thanks for, joining us and, letting us hang out with you guys. It's a lot of fun. It's very nice to meet you, Rock.
And I'm sorry this got cold. I wanted to eat when I was wrong, but I'm just...
Okay.
When I get warmed up, I can't stop. If I eat, it's going to, I'm going to forget my train of thought. But that still tastes great, though. And I'm still hungry. It's just I was so hungry to say what I had to say.
Yeah.
This has been happening to me since the 80s.
Yeah, how long have you been making movies now? When did you first make...
Get your sausage, you got... I like the yolk. There's tomato, bacon, sausage. I like the yolk, man. So, Yeah. Are you jealous of my meal? Are you jealous of me? You people out there, you should be here. Out at Niles Grill in Niles, Illinois on Milwaukee Avenue. Gotta eat my protein to build my muscles. Eggs and potatoes and meat. I get my carbs, I get my meat, my protein, my eggs got protein. And I got my nice hot Java. It's got antioxidants, so I can eat the eggs and the antioxidants will, make up for it because it's got antioxidants. Eggs are really good for you. It's just when you overdo things, A lot of the cholesterol comes from a lot of like the saturated fat from the meats you get that have a lot of fat, like the packaged meats. I'm not talking about like steak. Steak is good for you. People say, "Oh, you're gonna get cholesterol." Well, sure, all meat has some fat in it, but when you grill food, and on the George Foreman grill or on a grill, a lot of that fat drains out. When you grill food, the fat, a lot of the fat
out.
Yeah, and you don't even need to use George Foreman grill. You just grill it on a regular grill. The fat's gonna drain out because it's leaking. The George Foreman grill is just another type grill, but it's slanted. It's very unique. And I got one free when I opened a bank account at TCF. But then I got another one on sale for like $25. They're on sale now for like $24 in Jewel. You can get them real cheap now. You can get them cheaper than that. They had to use one at a garage sale at our church for like $5 or $2. But I already have two, but it was scratched up. So mine is new.
Probably why they got rid of it.
I got a brand new one. I haven't even opened, but I just opened mine a couple months ago, and I've been grilling ever since, man. I'm always buying stuff. I'm eating better. I'm getting my protein. My weight, I've actually lost weight because I'm eating more meat, and I'm eating more veggies now. I'm eating less of the carbs. I eat carbs, but I just don't do as many. I'm 175. I've lost like 10 pounds in the last year, but I still got my muscle. I'm still strong and I'm in shape. Now you're gonna say something. What are you gonna say? I was gonna say
exactly sure.
about the Scary Monsters. They did the article on me in Scary Monsters Yearbook '94.
Yeah.
And a big article on Connie Brooks versus the Werewolf. And Dennis Tertenis mentioned about Frankenstein versus Saddam Hussein. He mentioned about that. And he's been writing articles on me ever since. Him and his son. Dylan wanted to review Werewolf and the Witch. He said he wanted to review it, but he didn't. But they really liked that one. But Dennis said the best movie of 2005. Dennis said the best movie of 2005 was my Demon Monster from Outer Space. Demon Monster from Outer Space. That's, in my opinion, my best movie. My crowning achievement, because there's a lot of monsters, and I worked really hard on that, and I did so many details of the spaceship and the demon monster falling down, turning the camera sideways to make it look like you wiped out in the spaceship, and the frisbee cockeyed in the bushes, and then you see me, the camera turns sideways, I'm like falling down. I'm eating my food, and they're eating my hot dogs, watching monster movies, the demon monster, dipping it in mayonnaise and dipping the hot dog in mustard. Oh, man, monster movies and munchies and nice hot Java. That's really living. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, man, he's a cool movie, The Devil Ant. That's a great movie. That's my buddy. You know, and the Devil Ant, and anyway, Devil Ant helps him invade the earth. And I'm gonna do Demon Monster 2. That Demon Monster 2 preview at the end I really like that. I like that. I really like that trailer. I did that like in one morning. Nice. I finished that right away because I finished that in the morning. Listen, the morning I had to leave for Monster Bash, I finished the movie like at 5. Wow. That's when I finished doing the everything, the trailer included. Yeah. The video was finished at 6:55 a.m. the day I had to leave for Monster Bash. I had just enough time to run off 2 copies, and then I went down to the Alpha copy shop on the corner of River and Oakton in Des Plaines, and I just chose the photo of the Demon Monster to make that cover. Yeah. The picture of me is the Demon Monster on the cover. I did that in an hour, while I was maybe less, maybe like a half hour. I did that cover, maybe like 20 minutes. I just zeroed like 20 minutes, made a cover, and I made a bunch of copies, so I sold 2 of them at Monster Bash. Nice. Yeah, I brought them with me, so just enough time. How does that go? Because I wanted that movie to be done. I didn't get. I sold more copies the next year. Next year, I sold a bunch of them because I just didn't have time. It would have been too late for my train. For sure, yeah. You can't. But I finished that. I've done that. I did that with Devil Ant too. I finished Devil Ant the day I'd leave for Monster Bash. It's great, and I sold 2 copies down there. I don't know. I sent 1 copy to Svengoolie, and then I took like 2 copies with me. And they showed it. They showed it there. They screamed it. The world's premiere was at Monster Bash '99 at 3 a.m. They showed Devil Ant, and 20 people were there. At the end, only 5 people were left, and most of them were teenagers. 2 teenagers. Chris Venoy. I thought it was Venoy or Chris Venoy, and his daughter is his sister. Sorry, I'm talking so fast. It was just his birthday. It's his birthday this weekend. I think it's the 30th this weekend. Yeah. And I sent him a DVD. He bought like 7 of my movies at the Monster Bash last summer. I got 7 videos. Anyway, but him and his sister Kate, they live in Canada, Ontario. So I just sent him the tape like last week, a DVD, as a birthday gift. Awesome. And I made a little intro to him on the tape where I go, happy spooky fun birthday. Well, like I say, him and his sister were the only 2 awake. They were 2 of the 5 people that were still awake at 5 a.m. They were awake from 3 to 5 a.m. the whole movie, watching Devil Ant at Monster Bash '99. Adults were falling asleep. They go up to their room. They were zonked out in their chair. They go up to their room. There's like 5 people left awake watching at the end, including the projection of Scary Schroeder, who died in 2001. He died on 9/11/2001. He died from a heart attack near Washington D.C. At a hospital from a heart attack. That was the day of that was right. That was like the morning of the invasion, or it was in the afternoon of the invasion, the attack at down there in Washington D.C.
Gotta feed the kitty.
Down in New York, I mean. Oh yeah, okay, you gotta feed the kitty. Boo. I'm gonna shut up. But like I say, and you know, it's funny how my bootleg copy got sent to Scary Monsters, and guess what? Dennis liked the movie, and he writes about me a lot. Yeah, he's done big articles on Demon Monster in issue 59 and Svengoolie, and a later issue, pictures of me with Svengoolie in the Svengoolie issue. He's got a bunch of pictures of me in there.
Exactly what I was going to say. There's a great picture of you and Svengoolie like next to the float in some parade or something. And you got the werewolf head.
Yeah, I'm the werewolf. I'm attacking him when he's attacking me with a chicken. There's a picture on the cover of Werewolf and the Witch. It's this picture right there. It's that same picture there, the werewolf. That's me as the werewolf on the right. That one. But I want to say, see, I don't need Hollywood. You can make movies anywhere. You can make movies in your backyard. I don't need to go to Hollywood to make movies. You know, as long as you have a dream or goal, you can do it. Okay, I'll see you. Amen, amen, rock. I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to shut up and eat the rest of my breakfast. Okay. And, I'll let you guys, do what you got to do. Yeah. I got to shut up. Still tastes good though.
We gotta get you to sign the movies before you go.
Oh, I gotta catch a bus.
Okay.
No, she can catch the next. You'll be fine. You catch the next one. Yeah.
No, I want to catch the bus, Steven.
You'll catch the bus. You'll feed the kitty, but I mean, you gotta sign it first. I'm gonna shut up so we can sign that. Okay.